How would you characterize how you feel right now, as opposed to right now? The difference is in your qualia. A universally established definition of qualia has been evading the scientific and philosophical communities for decades. Cognitive scientist and philosopher Dan Dennett describes it as an unfamiliar term for something that could not be more familiar to each of us, the way things seem to us. The chaps over at Oxford favor the internal and subjective component of sense perceptions arising from stimulation of the senses by phenomena.
God save the Queen. Cheerio.
These definitions don't really do much to paint a helpful picture, though. Personally, I find it helpful to think about it in terms of life as a film. If your life was a film you could unravel on a table, the qualia would not just be the individual frames of the film, but the exclusive, irreducible inhabiting of each frame by the person you were, in that instance, for the precise duration of time you inhabited it, and in the immutable order in which they flowed. It's essentially like what it is like to be experiencing at any given moment. The sensation you have while watching this video is singularly yours, in this specific moment in time and consciousness. No one else, including yourself, has ever experienced, or will ever experience, this singular string of qualia ever again. Now, the possibility for academic circle jerkery is readily apparent here, but thinking deeply about these problems of consciousness do have tangible, if less than practical, benefits. Dan Dennett identifies 4 properties that are commonly ascribed to qualia. According to these, qualia must be ineffable. They cannot be communicated or apprehended by any means other than direct experience. They have to be intrinsic. They are non-relational properties, which do not change depending on the experience's relation to other things. They also have to be private. All interpersonal comparisons of qualia are systematically impossible. Finally, they have to be directly or immediately apprehensible by consciousness. To experience a qual is to know one experiences a qual, and to know all there is to know about that qual. Qualia is often associated with the hard problem of consciousness, an idea philosopher David Chalmers proposed in the mid-90s. Chalmers describes the hard problem of consciousness as how the physical processes in the brain give rise to the subjective experience of the mind. There is something that it is like to be me and to be you. The hard problem can be thought of in relation to the easy problems, which of course aren't so easy, but they're referred to in this way because they are receptive to scientific inquiry, whereas the hard problem is not. This is a hard problem because once the easy problems are solved, the hard problem's answer will not emerge from the solutions of the easy problems. Qualia seems impervious to reductive analysis. We aren't even sure if we possess the cognitive capacity to be able to solve the problem. New Mysterianism is an idea from philosopher Colin McGinn, which says that in the same way we might be cognitively unable to apprehend the idea of multiple universes, so too are we unable to apprehend places beyond our apprehension. There is a cognitive closure, a wall, behind which we cannot see. This is the strong form of the idea that we will never be able to scale that cognitive wall. Cognitive psychologist Steven Pinker explains the soft form. Our vertigo when pondering the hard problem is itself a quirk of our brains. The brain is a product of evolution, and just as animal brains have their limitations, we have ours. Our brains can't hold 100 numbers in memory, we can't visualize 7-dimensional space, and perhaps can't intuitively grasp why neural information processing observed from the outside should give rise to subjective experience on the inside. This is where I place my bet, though I admit that the theory could be demolished when an unborn genius, a Darwin or Einstein of consciousness, comes up with a flabbergasting new idea that suddenly makes it all clear to us. how is any of this actually useful? Well, perhaps it's not, and I've just needlessly contributed to the daily maelstrom of convoluted thoughts folding in on each other until the intelligibility of your world quickly and painfully evaporates from your field of view. That's possible. On the other hand, I like to look at my own qualia as microscopic measuring sticks that can indicate general well-being and contentment on a macroscopic level. A constant refinement of the quality of transient instances that'll never come again.